Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the sound check. This is Two Men No Hope. As I've just discussed with Jamie, I'm Dan and he's Jamie.
Hello, people. That always makes me feel really weird doing that bit.
That's why I haven't done it in ages. I'm just thinking to myself,
I never know what to say.
Yeah, well, you missed your cue. But as always, please like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Leave stars, leave comments. You guys have been smashing it. We've been getting loads of good feedback, comments on our TikToks, likes, follows. We're 5 away from 600 followers on Instagram. It's mental at the minute. It's really picking up, and we thank everyone for doing their bit. The annoys me though on the Spotify one is that you can see the rating on like my phone, but if I go onto my laptop, I can't see it.
Really?
It's not there. Yeah, and I think myself, we work really fucking hard for them stars, and you can't even fucking see it.
I suppose a lot of people don't use Spotify on their laptop, do they? A lot of people do it through apps on their phone or...
Yeah, I know, but when I need a little
whatever.
boost, I go through everything. I go, Anchor, yes. TikTok, yes. Instagram, YouTube, and then I get to fucking Spotify on my laptop, and I'm like, wankers. But, yeah, so it's good. But I have some news as well. When this episode is coming out, it will be Jamie's birthday. Admit it, you fucking prick. You fucking admit it.
I've been trying to hide it.
I know you have. You big bollock. And why have you been trying to hide it?
Because I'm depressed about being 31.
Fucking prick. And I was fucking 35 last month. Oh, I'm 31. Fucking dickhead.
35's like a good round number. 31's just like meh, isn't it? It's like, who the fuck... Like, between 30 and 35, like, what's going on? It's just meh. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, because 31's like you've got over the hump of 30. 30's when people are
Oh,
like
I haven't
miserable.
got over that hump, Dan. In my head, yeah, because of lockdown, being locked in my house for 2 years, I'm still 29. I'm still
Fuck
29.
that. I wouldn't want to be fucking... No, I wouldn't want to be 29 again.
If there was a
Perfect.
perfect age for you to go back to, but you still had your brain now, what would it be?
I don't know, I'm pretty happy right now. Like, if I could have, like, my house and stuff like that when I was, like, 18, then I would do that. But I was pretty fucking miserable in Luton. I don't think I'd want to go back.
Yeah, true. I think youth is wasted on the youth, innit? Like, when I was, like, 21, I was just completely fucking spiral. If I could go back now and just be, like, in that body, but have the knowledge I do have and have the things I do now, I'd be a fucking happier man.
Well, is that, yeah. I'll just go back and give myself a slap. Fucking disgusting things I was
thought you
doing
was
when I was
going
younger.
to say that you're going to go and give yourself some head or something.
Who wouldn't do that to themselves? It's because it's not gay, is it, if you're doing it to yourself?
Talking of time travel, the typical... I don't know whether you've heard this, but it always comes up on my TikTok. I've discussed it before in the past on other podcasts. Hitler, baby Hitler. If you can go back.
And
Kill
kill
it.
him? Yeah, of course I would.
Huh?
Yeah, of course I would.
You would?
Yeah.
How would you do it?
Even about that, all that fucking... I'd put him in a pillowcase and I'd swing it around the room.
That's fucking diabolical.
Doesn't even know why yet, but I know why.
And his mum's standing there screaming.
That's alright, she was married to like her brother or something anyway.
Oh,
Like
what
the
I
whole
would do, I'd
family
do
is
like a
fucking
Terminator, innit? I'd go after her like she's fucking...
No, because the
one
baby
out
was
of
still
Terminator?
alive.
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor. Oh, you mean before he's born?
Yeah.
What, because you can't bring yourself to kill a baby Hitler?
Well, if I had to, but... Can you imagine the ramifications now? They're probably... I think still probably something similar would have happened. Be some other nutcase.
Oh yeah, they always say that if it wasn't him, there'd be someone else, isn't it?
Yeah. It might not
That's
have
the
been
whole-
Germany, it might have been Russia.
that's the whole. Well, they're doing that now. That's the whole butterfly effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you believe in all that,
Dan, how many holes has a straw got?
oh, I saw this. It's got 2. It's got one and one, one on either end. That's fucking stupid. One hole. How's it got one hole?
There's no logic behind it, is it?
Because if you block one end, that's now not got a hole on it.
Mm.
Why is it no longer a straw?
Because you can't suck out of it, can you?
Yeah, you'd just be sucking on the end of your finger, wouldn't you?
Huh?
Just because
it'll be more like a really thin cup.
God, yeah, fucking cup. Leak. It has 2 holes. What was their logic behind it? I can't remember. Why did he say it had 2 holes?
He said it was a long hole. It was just a deep hole. That went all the way through to the other side or something. And then obviously his mate said the same thing I did, where if you had a cup's got one hole in it, but it needs the bottom, otherwise it ain't gonna hold the liquid, is it?
Yeah. No, it's got 2. One. No, because the hole is just. Yeah, no.
I was trying to trap you.
I know you were, but I saw it already.
You watch as much TikTok as me. That's the problem.
That's what I do on my breaks at lunch. I was talking to our friend on Instagram and saying I was going to sing you Happy Birthday, and he said about singing it the way Marilyn Monroe did it, but I can't remember
seductively.
Yeah, and I was going to be like, Happy Birthday, Mr. Moldman. Instead of Mr. President, but I can't remember the fucking tune or the words. So you got out of that one. I might pre-record it later and just stick it in there. I was too busy. I was going to find the music and everything, but anyway, everyone say happy birthday to Jamie anyway. He's 31 today, because this comes out on a Friday.
Yes.
31 today.
31.
Time jumping. Time jumping. You've now lost 3 days of being 30. You're now 31.
No, Dan, I will not accept it. I'm 29 for another 2 years. You hear about that? There's like this woman that's in like her 80s. She's legally in her 80s, yeah. But she was told by a friend a long time ago to pick an age and just stay at that age forever. So she's been trying to get her age legally changed to 42 for like fucking years, isn't it?
Fuck's sake. You need a hobby, didn't you?
I was like, not that many people ask how old you are. It's like it might be an initial question when you start working with someone, but other than that, no one gives a fuck, do they?
It's like a random question. Like I think I was at work for ages, and then someone just randomly turned around to me and said, "How old are you?" I'm like, "What?"
Mm.
Like,
people are always shocked that I'm so young.
Are they?
But then all I've got to do is humble myself. I'll go to one nightclub and I'll remember how fucking old I am.
I put that TikTok up. Funny. Where did you went out for a meal last night, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Shaka Zulu in London, Camden Town.
What is it? What kind of food?
It's like a steak restaurant. With like, it does like, do you know the type of restaurants that do like ostrich steak, buffalo steak, alligator steak?
Oh yeah,
crocodile steak,
like exotic meat,
that type of stuff. Huh?
Exotic meat.
Exotic meats, yeah. And then it had like different starters and all that shit. It was nice. The cocktails were good.
Yeah, how much was the voucher for?
I think it was like it paid for a cocktail each and 3 courses on the set menu, but we paid extra to get the actual steak because you could have like these random dishes in it. But I was like, I don't want random dishes. I'll have a steak, so I paid an extra tenner per steak.
Crocodile meat's pretty good.
Yeah.
Was it alligator?
Right.
Yeah. They used to do it in Iceland. You could buy it all like frozen.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
But
you get like ostrich burgers and stuff.
Camden, yeah. Like, no offense to anyone that lives in Camden or lives in the area around Camden, shithole. It's a proper shithole, man. Like, honestly.
Didn't they have a fire a few years ago?
Huh?
They didn't have a fire like 10 years ago or something. Like burnt half it down.
I wouldn't be surprised. This is the fucking state of the place. Like, I was it's got really nice restaurants, really nice bars all around there, yeah. So like it's more like normal people. I was walking through like a sea of homeless people when I first got off the train, and then when I was walking up the road, there was like roadmen on one side, homeless people on the other side begging me for change. Roadmen on the other side looking like they're going to try and rob me when I get the change out. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I said to Charlotte, if there's no pedestrians when we come back through at night, I am fucking getting an Uber straight to fucking Houston. I'm not going back on Camden station. And she was like, don't be so dramatic. I was like, honestly. But luckily when I come out, there's still loads of people about.
It's where all like the sweaty, like rocky, grungy people go, innit? Like the market and that.
We have to go over the bridge, and there was like a bunch of punks drunk and on drugs, just fucking like dancing in the middle of the street at like 7 PM on a fucking Tuesday. It's like, what is going on? What is going on?
Fucking hell.
But you get to where the restaurants now are, and it's like bougie as fuck. So it's like, it's really strange. It's like you've got all this crap, and then you've got a nice bit, and it's all mashed together.
Canal.
Typical London, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I always tell people up here how much shithole London is, but everyone, because there's a difference when you live there and when you visit.
Yeah.
And they're always like, oh no, London's blah blah blah. I'm like, no. London's a crap hole. That's what it is.
When my cousin lives in Camden, innit? And he always says about like how alternative and stuff it is, and you can see that when you go to like there's like a Peaky Blinders type bar. There's like loads of that type of stuff. But then across the road you've got homeless people on drugs dancing and shit. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, am I becoming a snob? Am I a snob? But the food was good. And then what made me laugh, I was walking, there was two girls behind me and Charlotte when we were coming back from the train station, and there was this guy, and he was like fucked, and he goes to these two young girls, oh, you're so beautiful, and they were like, oh, thank you, and all this stuff. Yeah, he was like, do you smoke weed? Come down here. And he like tried to goad these two like young girls into the fucking alleyway. I was like, do not go down that alleyway.
Jesus Christ, man, it's like a predator on his fucking. That's mental. How's the no smoking?
Miserable.
Are you still vaping, or have you gone back to cigarettes?
I'm vaping still. I'm literally, I think I had, since we spoke, I had like 2 cigarettes, and then vaped the rest of the time. But I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, pure anger, innit? Just a ball of anger at the minute.
It's like, I can't tolerate this shit.
When people are talking, I'm just switching off completely. I'm just like, I don't want to listen to you. Why are you up in my grill?
Up in my grill. I keep saying faux show.
For sure.
Just because it's easier, and I keep getting told off for it.
Who's telling you off?
Because people are haters. Anyone I say it to, apparently, I think I'm probably too white for it. I don't know, who fucking knows. I like it, so I'm gonna keep saying it.
It's like that clip of Paul Walker when he meets up with Tyrese in Fast and Furious 2, innit? And he starts putting out all this fucking spiel, like talking like hood to him.
Oh.
But I can't help it. I say bruv all the time and stuff like that, innit?
Oh yeah, well, it happens to it. Right, we've got a few emails. Fuck it, the one of them is a fucking belter, which I think is the one I'm about to read now. Which I was in the queue at Greg's, And I started reading it, and I just couldn't help myself. I fucking I just laughed so loud, and everyone looked at me. But it's such a fucking good email. I was telling everyone at work. But I've said before, I'll be on holiday for 2 weeks. Please keep emailing in. When we get back, we will get back on top of them. But don't stop emailing them in just because I'm not here. I'll still get them while I'm on holiday, and it'll give me something to read. So please keep me in. And next week, we're doing a Halloween special. So one listener has already sent in a Halloween story. But if you have a Halloween story, whether it's like trick-or-treating or parties or even like ghost stories, like if you've been on like holiday and there's been a ghost or something like that, send it in and we'll read it out. That would help us out. Less research. So he wants to stay anonymous, but right at the end he quoted you saying it's unbelievable, Jeff. Which cracked me up so fucking ridiculous.
They must have literally just listened to the last episode, because that's the first time I said it, isn't it?
Yeah, because I said to you, you've been watching too much Jeffrey Dahmer, and then you, yeah, and you went, it's unbelievable, Jeff. Which I think I made into a TikTok that I haven't put up yet, but that made me laugh. But right, so he says, he goes, I know the pain of vaping, Jamie. I burst into laughter when you started the last episode. That was such a good intro to the episode when I caught you off guard with recording.
Yeah, you fucker for that. My mum was like, is he secretly recording you all the time? Make sure you don't swear. I was like, we swear all the way through the fucking episode, mum. Do you know what I mean?
Make sure you don't swear. That's the one thing my mum says to me. She goes, you do swear a lot. I'm like, yep.
That's how I know she ain't listened, isn't it? Because if she'd heard it, she would have told me off for swearing.
I'll have to send her a message. Right, so he says, my neighbours are having unreasonably loud sex, and I'm getting to the point of losing sleep as all I hear is the headboard banging, and she sounds like she's being opened up by a tin of corn. Never heard that expression before.
Never in my life.
No.
Never in my life.
I am quite chatty with the husband, so I was planning on commenting until he told me he's on a night shift for the last 2 months, so she must have been having someone else round. So me being a nosy neighbour, I've gone full inspector mode. I heard it again last weekend around 2 a.m. and a coloured dude left the house. So I wasn't allowed to be respectful of that bit there, yeah. That's right, innit? And I was like, what do I do? Do I tell the husband or not? I left it so I could be 100% sure of the times because I want to know if it was him. Thursday night, it was a wild case of catching the pigeon. I never heard that expression either. It sounded like she released a wild animal into the bedroom. I waited around 3 o'clock, 3:30ish, and not one, not two, but 4 dudes left the house. What on earth do I do? She's a 50-something-year-old lady. Do I just mind my own business? Do I ask her to keep it down? Do I follow the bro code and tell the old boy? What do I do? That is one randy old woman.
2 in a week. Was it 2 in a week?
2 in a week? What?
Well, 5 in
you
a
don't
week.
count.
5 blokes.
I was going to say, yeah, that's 4 and one. You can't count that as one. She's mate. I straight away decided that she's a swinger. There's no way. If you come home after you've been to work, whatever, there's no way you don't know 4 dudes have been in your house.
I feel as though when the husband walks in, he must smell like arse cheek.
Yeah, like 4 guys been top and tailing.
Maybe he could be in there. She could be on live chat to him or something while he's on his break or something. While she's getting absolutely destroyed.
This is what I mean. They must be swinging. They must know. He must know. There's no way he can't know.
Surely. If he doesn't, then that is like some unbelievable like antics from the wife. Could you imagine? It's like, could you imagine coming home and your other half is like got 4 blokes in the bedroom with her? What the fuck are you gonna do? You can't start a fight. There's 4 guys.
That's true, yeah. and she has the. I don't understand why when a woman gets to a certain age, she craves coloured men. Do you not find that like?
Road.
No, it wasn't like a. I was assuming it's because back in the day, like it was not. It was a thing. You shouldn't do it, should you? Like your parents would be like, no, you're not allowed. So now they've gotten older. They're like, I do what I want. Because like when you watch the porn and that's what the is it gilfs? That's what she is, isn't she? Over 50, she's a gilf. She just wants some like massive opening a can of corn.
No.
Power to them. They've got all the luck, man.
Oh no,
like,
I've not even got that. I'm not even commenting.
Like, like it's a fantasy. Like no woman has a fantasy of like, oh, I want to sleep with a white guy.
No, because we're just average Joes.
Yeah, it's just that's what it is, isn't it? That's it. Oh, my fantasy of been sleeping with a white man. No, I don't get that. You know what I mean? Lucky bastards. We got to work for it.
Yeah, I don't know. If it was me and I heard my neighbour, I would speak to her. I would say to her about the noise, and I just wouldn't say anything to the guy. It's not my business.
I wouldn't want to speak to her though. Isn't that weird? Like you've been hearing her.
Like, could you imagine you'll say about the noise and then he's none the wiser?
Yeah, but that's the best thing though. You just say to him, "Oh, last night was a bit loud. I don't know what was going on, but can you, keep it down?" And then he's got to put it together himself.
Maybe. I don't know if I'll say anything
at
all. It depends if it's keeping me up. You must be living in some fucking shanty town of a house to fucking hear someone next door going at it, surely.
No, loads of people have problems with that. My walls are quite thin.
Can you hear people next door?
When the previous people that were in, they were doing like fucking karaoke and stuff at ridiculous time in the mornings. I could hear all that.
Oh god.
And you're in a new build. Your walls can't be that great.
Can't hear nothing, mate. Most insulated house in Britain, my house. Literally. Every fucker keeps talking about having to put on their heating and stuff. I have not even looked at the thermostat, let alone I've not needed heating whatsoever yet.
My house might not as well have walls. That's how cold it is in my house.
Yeah, I told you're going to get damp, man. One day you're going to come on here and you're going to go, Jamie, I've got something to tell you. I'll be like, what, Dan? And you'll be like, I've got damp in it.
There's nothing I could do about it. My windows are fucked. Like I couldn't physically put my heating on long enough to make any difference. Yeah. There's nothing I could do about it. So it is what it is, isn't it? Thanks very much, Liz Truss. Really appreciate it.
But no, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because like you don't want to end up in a weird situation because neighbours are neighbours. We've had loads of neighbour problems. This is like one of our main topics, isn't it? But if it's keeping you up, go next door and thing. You could also, if they are swingers, you might end up. If you're a single guy, you might end up in there yourself.
That'd be like the dream, wouldn't it? Just knocking on it. It's not like, do you want to come round for the barbecue? It's like, do you want to come round for a skinny dip and a ploughing some random woman? Oh, she lives up the road. Oh yeah, all right then, yeah. I'll be right round.
But the thing is, could you imagine you end up getting like a serious relationship? You've got this situation going on next door. You're in a serious relationship, and they don't understand why you're trying to quit on them. And then they start getting needy with you. They think you're like the third piece to their throuple. Like, Dan, please, man. I just want a bit of that dick. I want a bit of that long dick.
Oh, mate, the temptation is too much. That's the dream, though, isn't it? Like banging your neighbour. Like, oh, you see her bending over doing, well, not a 50-year-old woman, and she's like, oh, she's dropped her panties while she's hanging them up, and you're looking out the window. She's giving you a little look.
Don't know. She must be quite athletic, I think, to be able to deal with 4 blokes at once. She must be She couldn't be like a fucking hot pocket sitting there. Do you know what I mean?
Hot pocket. Like a fish out of water, just laying there. Like she's stunned in the headlights.
Yeah. Mate, if I come home and Charlotte had 4 blokes in the house, do you know, I would literally, like, I would lock the front door and just start lighting a fire around the house, just to fucking make sure no one's coming out.
That's a Family Guy. Is it Family Guy where he's like, remember what I always said, if I come home and I find you cheating, I'll kill you both.
I'd just go on the run and it disappear into the fucking Highlands in Scotland.
We'll have to do a fucking pirate radio for the podcast. You have to find a new location.
The police would be trying to hunt me down, and I'll just be leaving tapes of the podcast around at each place that I live. Just living out the back of the fucking car.
the podcast bandit.
Yeah.
I would say, if like you were all right with the neighbour, like the husband, I would just say to him, not like, oh, by the way, just be like, oh, there's a lot of noise coming at the middle of the night. Do you mind keeping it down because I need to get some sleep? And then if he doesn't know, he'll figure it out, and if he does, he doesn't need to tell you that he knows. And you can get on with whatever you were doing. I think that's probably the best thing to do. You do not want to go around knocking.
Tell him to go dogging or something, isn't it? Like, loads of people go dogging.
If you don't know,
out the house.
I hear your missus is downing 4 guys. Why don't you just go dogging? He's like, what?
Or do you know what would be a good idea? You shouldn't do this, but this is what I would say as a joke. What you should do is get a printout of local swingers clubs and just fucking slip it under the door and just run off. Not Ginger, and run off in it.
Well, hoping that instead of doing it in the house, you'll go to a club.
Yeah. Then she can have as many blokes as she wants, and it's not keeping you up.
It's not a terrible idea. It's not a practical one, but it's not a terrible one either.
I just finished up watching The Watcher on Netflix. Have you seen that?
No, everyone talks about it though.
It's about like this fucking. It's a true story about like this person's watching this house and they know everything that's going on inside the house, etc., etc. And it reminded me of this email when I was watching it, innit? Because when it was like, oh, I went into full investigation mode, like they're getting up out of bed to see who's leaving the house at like 2 a.m.
Fucking hell.
There's no way I would be that like involved, if you know what I mean. I'd be intrigued, but I wouldn't be that involved.
I don't know, it depends. If it's like saucy like that, I would be involved. I'd be like, oh, try and catch a look at something.
I can imagine you like standing at the end of their drive down in it.
We're like, yeah. I'll stand there with like my hoodie on and my hood up, with like binoculars just poking out the hood.
When stuff used to kick, the people that lived below me used to have domestics all the time, and sometimes it'd spill out into the street, and that's when Rocco would get a 3rd or 4th walk of the day, and I'd just be like walking him around the fucking area in it just to have a look at what was going on.
You can imagine just coming out from around a corner really slowly, like pulling Rocco back. Don't pull.
I'll be standing there pretending Rocco's peeing in it, but he's actually wanting to go back up to the flat because he's fucking knackered because I've took him out 6 times already.
Pulling out a little pen and paper and writing down notes.
Talking of neighbour problems, have I ever said to you, when I was in lockdown, one of mine, and you was only allowed to go out once a day, do you remember, for exercise? One of my neighbours grasped me up to the police because I took Rocco out more than once in the day. What?
Did they actually turn up at your house?
The police didn't turn up. I had a note put onto my thing from the police because I wasn't in my letterbox. And it was like, it's come to our attention that you are going out more than once a day, etc., etc., etc. Please refrain from doing this. It didn't mention the dog at all. And then when I spoke to my neighbour, the one that was on the same landing as me, she thought it was the guy that was upstairs, and I was just like, he's fucking mental. Then what do you do when you see him in the corridor? Do you start on him, or do you just fucking do the typical British thing and just tut at him as he walk past?
I don't understand people like that. Like, mind your own fucking business. It's not like you were coming back and then like licking his face or something. Like, what does it matter?
I wasn't having anyone round or doing anything weird. Or do you want my dog to shit in my flat? Because that's what would have happened.
You should have let him do it on the balcony into like a bag, and then wing it and see if you can flick it up onto his balcony.
Thing is, I don't know what he was doing because he had a Rottweiler. The guy that lived above me had a Rottweiler in that flat. So where was she going?
Fucking hell, that would eat your dog.
He type of bloke, because sometimes you see it on like their neighbours when they go into people's houses and there's just dog shit and cat shit all over the place. It might be one of them types, and that doesn't take the dog out.
He's just flinging it over the side.
Dirty bastard. Dirty bastard.
He's got one of them like homemade treadmills that he ties the dog to get him out. It comes out of lockdown.
Walking,
the dog's got like muscles and muscles and muscles. He's like, holy fuck, what have you done to that dog? Oh, he's on the treadmill 24 hours a day. Just doesn't come off it.
That's the same geezer that had like loads of problems. Like he would be hoovering in the middle of the night, working out in the middle of the night. He would always like, you'd hear like him putting the weight down, like he would dropping the weight bar. And it's like,
was he tanked then? Was he like a massive guy?
Not really. He was just fucking odd.
Sounds fucking odd.
When I first moved in, he hung around the corridor a lot, and I was just like, mate, I don't want to talk to you.
Oh, what, to try and start conversation?
Every time I went down to like the bin store or something, he would be standing there hanging around, and I thought it was because he smoked, and he would go down to the front. I was like, why is he not smoking in his balcony? But he'd go all the way down to the front of the building and smoke, and I think it's because he was trying to like talk to people, innit?
Just want some company. Maybe that's what he was doing. He was like, oh, I'll grass him up and he'll come up to have a go at me and I'll invite him in for a pint and we'll be all bowy and we'll be alright.
Then Charlotte will hear me getting loudly raped upstairs.
She'll just be like, oh, he's dropping them fucking weights again, and you're just going, ah! Ah!
You just hear the buzzsaw going, innit, where he's fucking Jeffrey Dahmered me in the fucking flat. And
you and old Jeff again.
Oh mate, he's been living in my head rent free for a couple of weeks, that fucker.
Right. What else have we got?
But yeah, if she's getting dicked down by loads of blokes, I don't know. Unless it's actually affecting your sleep, I wouldn't say anything. Just for peace. But if it is affecting your sleep, me personally, I would speak to her. Kind of see if you figure out the situation from that, because you don't want to be the turn around and tell the bloke, and then you've called it a domestic, and somehow they're like fighting in your living room. Can you imagine? They're like, he'll be like, "What have you seen? What have you seen?" And then they knock on your door, and they both come into your house and argue about their relationship in your house.
Fuck that. No, like I said, I would just ask him to keep the noise down and let him decide for himself. Yeah.
But I think you're right, Dan. I think they've got to be swingers. She's not going in there having a fivesome. Is that what it's called? A fivesome?
Fuck knows.
Fifthsome?
I never had one. Fifthsome. Yeah, like, there's a thing, right? Like, if she's cheating on him, generally it would be with, like, one person, the same person over and over again. And swingers, typically, it'd be different people all the time. And multiple. So that would make me think it's a swinger.
Mate, it's got to be.
You know what I mean?
Be like one of them porn videos where she's on the phone to him while she's getting ploughed.
The only sort of phone call that I want to be involved in. Right, so we said about the bad breath in the last episode. and we asked about people in America and stuff like, what would they confront them? And Brandon from Instagram says, yes I will, and he has. He says, if you stinking, I don't want to smell you, so I'm going to let you know. I won't be a dick about it, but I will definitely tell them. It's for the benefit of everyone who comes into contact with them. And he says there was a dude at work who had crazy bad BO, and everyone in the plant wouldn't talk about it. I hit him up one day and told him that his odour was next level. He looked at me, lightly laughed it off, and basically said, oh well, fuck it. Then he said, I'm not even the worst one in my D&D group. That's when I knew the mission was futile and walked away.
What, the guy didn't even care?
No, didn't give a fucking monkeys that.
What the fuck?
See, that's next level, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when we worked in retail, man. Like, some of the people that used to come to the shop, the states they were in, and the fucking smell you get off some people. I just be like, there's some people in this world that just do not wash.
Yeah.
And they don't give a shit in it. And I think them people need to be. There should be some like natural selection. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Natural selection, where like, if you let yourself get to a certain point, you get some kind of disease, and it offs you, and then that's you done. That's what it should happen.
I went into game a couple weeks ago, and I literally walked in and was like, whoa, someone fucking reeks. Like, they've been walking around the game and just wafting back and forth.
Do you know, actually, we had to pay extra. I've complained to Uber about this. Me and Uber are not getting along. Ever since I've been banned from Uber, there's always been like the fucking random shit going on with Uber. So when I tried to book my Uber, I had 20 minutes to get to the train station yesterday, yeah? I Ubered, and my Uber account, because I've been contesting that fucking random charge on it, decided that my phone number is no longer connected to my email address. Just randomly. Right. Just decided to do that, yeah? And because they weren't connected, it wouldn't let me fucking book an Uber. So I'm sitting there having a meltdown, yeah, trying to book the Uber. Then when I finally got it sorted out, I had to create a new email address in the end. I had to sort it out, yeah? I got through, and then in my area, only Uber Comfort.
What's that?
So instead of paying like £8 to get to the fucking what's it called?
Train station.
I had to pay £18 to get to the train station.
Why, was it a fucking
because
limo?
It's a more comfortable car, Dan. He turned up. It was a BMW. It was very nice inside. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's a 5-minute journey across Hemel. I don't want to pay £18. Yeah, and that entire journey, that guy absolutely hummed or fucking BO the entire time. I gave him 1 star in the end, but I'm gonna complain to Uber and see if I can get my fucking money back, because it's just like I had to pay for comfort, and if it's supposed to be comfortable, the geezer shouldn't be like, I shouldn't be inhaling his BO. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, honking.
And
he's got to sit with his fucking arms up as well.
They just love putting the heat on in the car, and it's just like, mate, I'm suffocating in here.
It's because they're not technically paying for it because it's coming out of their car, isn't it?
Yeah, true. So instead of heating their house, they're heating the car.
Yeah, I thought about that this morning, and I was like, man, I wonder if I just live in my car for 6 months.
Yeah, things are getting real over there, Dad. You should just get like a couple of them little heaters, keep them by you all the time.
Well, that's what I mean. The windows are so shit that once I've turned it off, the heat's just fucking gone. Because I have one. I've got one next to me right now. That's mental, man. I've never heard of that.
Because it takes the chill out of the air.
Fucking
an open flame.
They'll literally fucking... What's the next one? Uber Electric. You pay a bit more for an electric car.
Well. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
What's Uber Pet?
So
is that a stupid question? Fuck me. That is not what I was expecting. I thought you like rent someone's pet for a walk or something.
That'd be cool. I'd do that. I'd rent Rock and let him attack everyone else's dogs, innit?
That would save
I'll
you
be like
having to fucking walk in.
very friendly towards other animals, and then he turns up and he's feral.
That's mental. They'll literally make you pay for anything. So
when I was on the underground last night, there was a dog being carried through the underground, and it weren't a little dog. This dog was like the size of me, and this geezer had him on his shoulder like he's a fucking fireman taking someone out of a building, all the way down the escalators, everything. The dog's drooling on the floor. It was fucking massive. I was like, surely it can stand on an escalator.
I think the escalator's the one time I would probably carry it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Or just his feet get eaten up or something.
Yeah. Or it doesn't like the... Because you know what dogs are like in cars, where they can't handle like the movement and that. But I don't know. I'll have to test it one day.
Did you know when they first did the underground, because that was the first time escalators were used in Britain? When they did the underground, they had to pay people to go on the escalators to show the English people how to fucking go up and down the escalators, because the people were scared of it, innit?
There's a job that I wouldn't mind doing. And you go up, and you go down. There's 20 quid, that's alright.
Mate, if you pay me £20 an hour to ride an escalator all day, I'd be doing that.
Oh yeah, me too. Absolutely. For sure. I'll end up, by the end of the day, I'll be like mad and like riding the arms. Just like hanging onto the side and letting it carry me up.
I do like a 2-in-1, innit? I'll become a busker, innit? While I'm doing it. Just like buskers that go up and down and just like shake my penny jar at people.
Just like, can I hold your briefcase there, sir, for your 2-second journey up these stairs?
I have no talent whatsoever though, so I don't know what I'd do.
I couldn't tell you, man. I wouldn't know what I'd do either. Maybe a little jig.
Might play an Irish flute, an Irish tin flute.
I can play the spoons. I'm pretty good at the spoons.
Oh, the triangle. You could go with a triangle, innit? Everyone can do a triangle.
That's overplayed. I think you need to get a bit more adventurous than a triangle.
You always knew you were like the weak link in that group, innit? If the teacher handed you the fucking triangle in school, man. If you were like handed the triangle, you knew you shouldn't be in that class.
I didn't even fight fate. I would run to the triangle. I'd be like, I have this.
Really?
Oh, that's mine. Yeah. I was quite happy with it. Or the symbols where you just bang them together.
I don't know what was going on in my school, but I don't know whether it's the same in your school, but my school seemed to be obsessed with xylophones. Obsessed. I remember being in a music class many a time, and they'd hand them all out, and you'd stand there, you sit there with the little like, I don't even know what you'd call it, stick.
Yeah, with a ball on
it, and you go like that across it. What the fuck was that about?
No, I wouldn't even go up and down. I would just roll it, just up and down.
You'd roll it. Yeah. Did they have you in the class by yourself, Dan?
just so he... Hey, I was in the special group.
Was you?
I was yeah. Well, what they called it, room 42 or something. Room 40, the room for room retarded 42. People. Was it 42? There was a room number anyway. Yeah, you it was if you needed like extra help. Which probably they should have said to me, oh, by the way, we think you've got ADHD, but they didn't. Yeah, so it was shy.
I think nowadays they spot stuff. Back then they didn't really know, did they?
No, they were just like, oh, you're falling behind. We're taking you out of, I think, what did I have to miss? French. You can't do French. You've got to go up to this fucking room for an hour once a week to do nothing. It's fucking bullshit.
I used to spend, because obviously I was so badly behaved, they used to put me in a room. It was called internal exclusion. It was they put all the naughty kids in one room.
Yeah,
that's what it remove. Yeah. So it was being removed, and every naughty kid from every year group's in there. Yeah. So then it's just fucking chaos, absolute chaos in there.
Yeah, I don't know what they expect.
Try to keep you quiet. One time the guy come in, and he had zigzags on the side of his head, and someone had said it was racist, and he had to wait there, and he had to go to remove every day until he got the zigzags growing out of his hair. Fucking insane.
I don't know why they're so funny about haircuts, especially with like colour in your hair and stuff like that. Now it's changed now, isn't it? They don't give a fuck.
Surely in
But, like,
2022 they can't really say nothing about it.
back in the day, though, you were fucking... If you had, like, Red Nose Day and you sprayed that fake red colour into your hair, they'll send you home. It's like, what? You useless fucking ball bags.
I nearly got sent home once because we used to have, like, instead of blazers, we had like these shithole jumpers, yeah. And I got a cashmere jumper, just a plain black one, to wear instead because I hated the material. And I come in with it, and I walked into the room. Teacher was like, "No, out." And I was like, okay. So I walked back out the room, yeah. And then I was like standing out there for a good 25 minutes. They must have forgot I was out there, innit? And then when they come out, they were like, "Where's your uniform?" I said, "This is my uniform." I was like, "I'm wearing my shoes and all that shit." And then they were like, "Where is your uniform?" And I was just like, just because I didn't have the little shitty emblem sitting on my t-shirt, sitting on my jumper, that she was kicking off. And then they started a rule just before I left, yeah, that in the summer you had to get permission to take the jumper off. You weren't just allowed to take your jumper off.
Oh, they did that to us, yeah. We had a blazer.
What's that about?
You had to ask permission, yeah. Fucking bullshit, innit?
Is it prison? That's what school felt like to me, prison.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
I think
Everyone
in
had
prison
to
you
look the
can wear
same
your
way.
jumper when you want.
We had they put up like all these fucking massive gates in like the last year I was there, and if you were late you would basically get locked in between two fences until a teacher would come and write your name down and then let you in the fence to get into school. Yeah, like a proper prison.
I was never on time, man. I lived literally at the end of the road from the school, and I was late every day, every single day.
Yeah, fuck it. I went to go. I loved going home on my lunch breaks. It was so hard to fucking walk back again.
We weren't allowed to go back and leave the school.
You had to get a special card that you had to show a teacher as you were leaving to say that you were allowed to go home.
Really?
Yeah. Lunch pass thing.
I don't think they would have trusted me to come back.
But it's so annoying because you had to sort of like get out as quick as you can and then fucking power walk home so you could get like 30, 40 minutes at home, if that, and then you had to walk back again.
Really?
Yeah.
They do you know play football.net?
No.
They put that up around the back of my school.
Oh, right.
It was like AstroTurfs. So we were allowed to use that during the lunch break, and then we used to go around the back of it and smoke, like typical little school kids, yeah. We'd go around the back, smoke. I smoked for the first time a little bit of weed, yeah, around the back of this fucking AstroTurf. And I went up to the science later that day, and I was giggly because obviously it's the first time I've ever done anything like that. And they were like, "Have you been drinking?" And I was like, "No." They're like, "Have you been drinking?" I was like, "No." And then they put me in the fucking like chemical cupboard for ages. I was standing in there just like looking at the fucking wall, and I just remember standing in there just like going like this. I was like tripping out. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and I was like, he opened the door and he was like, "Let me smell your breath." And I'm not joking, Dan. He put his nose in my mouth, innit? He put his nose in my fucking mouth. Yeah.
Should have licked his face. Well, funny.
And then I got sent to remove, but I didn't. I hadn't had anything to drink, and I didn't smell of weed because I had smoked loads of cigarettes. So I would have, if anything, I would have just stunk of cigarettes.
You're fucking it. That's mental. I didn't do anything like that. I broke into the school once when I was like the skater kid, and we were like skating on top of the library.
That's pretty
good. Yeah, that was pretty fun. And then I twisted my ankle. Because I'm great at sports. So, we have a email in from a listener that was in Brian's episode. The gentleman that had his ex coming round who had a fiance and she was like spending the weekend with him and stuff. He didn't know what to do. So he's emailed in and he says he just wanted to let you know I've cut things off with her and told her fiance too, and he was grateful for that. She is now a single woman and he even played a round of golf with me, so that was really strange.
That is weird.
Respect to him though.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, because I would like cutting it off was bad enough. Like not bad enough. It was a tough decision to do, and then to go and tell him, man, that's mad respect for that. And it showed you that he appreciated it because there was no hard feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I think he's a braver man than me because I would be like trying to avoid conflict at that point. Do you know what I mean? So he's actually gone in not knowing how the guy would react to it and told the guy anyway.
Yeah, but he must have done it in a really sort of like, oh mate, I've got feelings for her. I've told her it can't happen no more, but I want to let you know that she's dicking about.
Yeah.
And he's like,
stay
that's
strong.
great.
Stay strong, man. Do not go back there.
Well, he says, now I'm out of the toxic situation, what do you think I should do? Stay single for a bit and try and fix my self-esteem, or get back on the horse? I think you should join his alone time. You need that, man. Like, he needs to enjoy being on his own. Women, like, they say, oh, men are this, men are that, blah, 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 but when a woman's got, like, in your head, like, you're fucked up for ages. And if you jump back into someone else, it don't help no one.
No, and it could affect, like, if you was to go straight into a new relationship, say, I have been really guilty for this in the past. I would jump literally from relationship to relationship. And sometimes it doesn't work out because you're treating that person like it was the person that hurt you. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's a new person. So I think, I agree with you. I think they need to, even if you give yourself just a month or something, just to be you. And like, not the person that's relied on her for all that time.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I'd be fucking riding a high if I was him, man. Like, he's ditched that, and then he's gone and told the guy, and the guy's been like really fucking good about it.
Grateful.
Yeah, I'd be like, mate, I'm a beast right now. Turning girls down left, right. Fucking telling the truth.
My moral compass is up here.
Yeah, I'm untouchable.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to hear some feedback as well, man. We don't get that very often. 1 or 2 people have come back to us, so it's nice to hear that we've made a difference, I feel.
And if we do get it, I normally forget until you email again. Like that, the friend zone guy, he emailed to tell us, and I completely forgot until he emailed us again the week later about a question.
Oh,
so
really?
I brought it back up again. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now, actually.
That's my fault.
Fucking hell, man. Like, it is difficult though, isn't it? Because especially at the minute when we're getting so much, my notifications on my phone, I don't know about you, but my notifications on my phone are going fucking insane. Like, I'm getting so many notifications all the time.
Put my phone on Do Not Disturb the other night because it just kept fucking buzzing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't handle this. Normally it doesn't bother me, but that night I was just like, fucking... So, I don't know why Jamie doesn't proofread the emails that I sent, because it would solve a lot of these problems. So, so he says at the bottom, I hear Jamie is a first aider now. Dan, would you feel safe with Jamie giving you mouth to mouth? With a funny face. And I replied, I think the question there is, would Jamie stop giving me mouth to mouth when I wake up? I see the looks he gives me.
Now we know what you really want from me, Dan.
And Jamie trusts me to email all the listeners back, and he doesn't. Okay.
To be fair, if I'd read that, I would have just laughed and not thought anything more of it.
Wonder what he thought when he got that message.
True.
Yes, I would trust him. I trust Jamie with my life, and I hope he would be as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah. Whether or not...
What's weird is because of COVID, even though COVID is like finished and done with, they don't even show you how to do the fucking mouth to mouth. So I'd just be pure guessing in it. But
I remember when I did it, they were like, when you're doing the compressions on your chest, they're like, if you haven't broken a rib, then you haven't been doing it right or something.
Yeah, you have to. There's like a middle bit that they say is almost definitely going to break, the bit that holds the ribs together.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you should crack a couple of ribs because when I started doing it, because obviously I'm so heavy-handed, I was trying to be like nice to the doll in it. Like I was like leaning a little bit down. And he was like, "No, but you have to put your full body weight." I was like, "If this was a person, I'd kill them. Like I'm a big guy. Do you know what I mean?" And he was like, "No, you have to do it to get the heart going." I was like, "Mate." Then we made jokes that, because obviously Dharma had only just come out, we made jokes that I would have put my, do you know when you see it in like Grey's Anatomy where they massage the heart in it? So I put my hand up at the bottom of the dowel in it, and I was like, I'm massaging the heart right now in it.
You're a sick bastard.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, because it makes a noise, doesn't it? When you push it enough, it makes like a clicking noise, like you've done it right.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. But like
we did the AED.
What's that?
Or shocker thing. What's it called? I can't remember what they're called.
I never got to do that. The paddles, yeah.
We did that.
Defibrillator. Defibrillator.
The guy that was training us was fucking over the top in it. He was like, "There's obviously it's only pretending that it's going to do it to the doll. It's not going to really electric shock it." But he was like fully acting it out, and he was like, "Everyone back, everyone back!" And he was telling me I weren't far back enough in it. He had made me stand behind the table like a little fucking naughty school kid. And I was just like, bro. I thought I'm never going to have to use one of them in my life. And then when I was, I had my induction the other week. Tuesday I had my induction for the first aid in work. Like I have like keys and stuff to certain rooms and shit. And she was showing me the AED and it fell out onto the fucking floor. And then
did you go step back?
Yeah, I was like, it's got to go off.
Everyone step back. You, behind that desk.
And it started alarming out in it. I was thinking, oh, fuck. If I pick this up and it electroshocks me, I'll die in it. But, oh well. I think I'd save your life, Dan. I wouldn't let you lay there and die, like you said about that cow with the vegan that time.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to go into that. But, yeah, no, I think you would too. I think you'd jump into action. I surprisingly sober up when I'm just assuming that I'll be drunk when we're together. I wouldn't be trusted with the electricity thing, so they keep them in old phone boxes now, don't they?
I didn't know that. I know there's an app on your phone where you can find out where your closest one is, because there should be one in every like.
I'm sure it was like a phone box the same, because people were like nicking them, like trying to like take them.
Nicked, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to Google it. Torment it with myself. Should I? No.
Can you imagine, like, it's almost likely going to be a crackhead that nicks it in it, and they've probably gone down to the local pub, and they're walking in with a fucking AED, and they're just like, "Hey guys, anyone want to buy this? £2, because it's always dirt cheap in it when they try and sell you something.
Yeah,
like, £2 for this." And then like he gets it all out and starts showing you how to use it and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Terry the crackhead, like selling the AEDs that he's nicked from a fucking round the place.
I'm so glad I don't have to deal with crackheads anymore. Full on. But I'm tired.
That's what I like, man. Full of them.
What, crackheads?
Yeah, I was almost expecting someone to walk into Shaka Zulu, but it's so posh that they'll be like, "Nah, you ain't coming in, mate."
Is it posh to the point where they're like, if they don't think you could pay for the meal, they'd like, "Nah, you can't come in"?
Nah, I would say it's like just above reasonable, I would say.
How much is a pint? Oh no, you can't judge that. How much is a normal standard meal?
Standard meal?
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't look at... Because the menu I had didn't have prices on it.
That's they don't put prices on it. That's bad. they don't want you to know how much the fucking stuff is.
I know Charlotte paid like 20 quid for a glass of wine, nearly.
That's fucking mental. Yeah, because I judge it by like a standard meal now is like 12 quid. If you go to like a beef eater,
if you were to get like a main in like in somewhere like a Green King or something like that, that'd be like 12 quid.
That's like borderline. That's like it's just above trash, but it's still good.
Yeah. Pub food. I always think there's a difference between pub food and like Wetherspoons food. Wetherspoons is like next level shit, and then you got pub food, which is like half decent. Your burger's not going to be cooked the way you want it, but it's still edible. And then you have the like the next level up, which would be like more where I try to stay now.
Makes you laugh. You're saying about like I was saying about how cold it is. I made dinner the other day, and then I was watching TV. I went back into the kitchen. I was like, "Oh, it's nice and warm in here. Why is that? Because I left the fucking hob on."
Oh, mate.
The kitchen was all nice and toasty because the fucking hob was fucking burning up.
Do you have a gas hob or electric?
Electric.
I saw on TikTok some geezer cooking the steak straight on the hob.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, he's a crackhead. And he was like singing some like crazy song. I was just like, whatever I do, Charlotte's that particular about the kitchen, innit? Yeah. If I put a little speck of crap on the hob, she's like, nope, that needs to come off. That'll burn into the hob. It needs to wipe it off. She'd be standing there wiping a hot fucking plate in it, and I'm just like, all I'm doing is just trying to do some pasta or something. Because I'm trying to cook a lot more because I'm doing healthy food, and I am chaos in the kitchen, Dan. Absolute fucking chaos.
I just can't be bothered. I don't know if it's because I'm wanting to go on holiday, but I just can't. I buy the food and everything like that, and I just end up either not having dinner or I end up ordering something.
See, I've gone the longest time ever without ordering food.
I've been going to Burger King a lot.
Huh?
I've been going to Burger King a lot. Like yesterday, I come home, I went to sleep and had a nap for like an hour. I got up, had a shower, went to the sunbed place, and I was like, well, Burger King's next door, I might as well.
Last night on the train, I saw this woman eating a Burger King like no other person that I've seen in my life, and she was like dismantling everything and like putting the chips inside the burger and like putting loads of ketchup and stuff on everything, and then just eating it all in one. And she was eating really loudly as well. It was like super. It was massive. It was like that tall, and she was going like that. She was like, I was like, she needs to fuck off, get away from me.
Well, the first time I went to Canada, Jim's mate Aki, he introduced me to him. He's like Finnish. Is that the right term? He's from Finland.
Finnish, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. And crazy smart guy, like the smartest guy I've ever fucking met. And we were hammered. Of course, he drinks Guinness. And we were like smashed off our tits, and there was like a Burger King, and I'm gonna go to Burger King. And he got there first because Jim is bad with his eyes, so I went after him so I could like read the menu out.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, there was people in there, and then all of a sudden, he's gone and sat down, and you just hear this, "Oh my god!" in like Finnish, because he's like fucking wanking. He's like stuffing this burger in his face, and everyone just turns around. And he's like in the middle of this restaurant on a table on his own, just like. Funniest thing I fucking see. I swear to God. Great guy.
Kieran and on a night out once, I was late to. Do you know, like everyone goes to like KFC or whatever after the nightclub? There was like a KFC in Watford, and they pull the shutters down onto the seating area, so you can't sit in there. So you literally have to get your food and go. Kieran and Tom got in just before they pulled the shutters down, innit? And they were getting that carried away that they just were sitting in there with it all closed off. And then I was so fucked up that I couldn't figure out why I was on the other side of the fence. So I was like, "Can you not let me in?" And the bouncer guy had enough of me, and it was like, "You're not going in there, mate. You're not going in there." I was like, "But my brother's in there. My brother, just let me in there. Just let me in there." I was like getting bare like upset. And then what I can only describe as a wildebeest of a woman, turned around to me and was like, "If you do not shut the fuck up, I'm going to pour my coke straight over your head." And I just remember looking at her and went dead quiet, and I just thought, is it worth it? Or isn't it? And I ended up just like fucking going outside and started going for a smoke in it. And then I remember her coming out and she just goes to me, "You fucking little cunt." And I was just like, oh.
Oh, mate, I was switched.
Yeah, I was like, I can't go to prison right now. Imagine that headline, getting fucking beat up a woman outside a fucking KFC. You go to prison. You would be everyone's like little bitch boy, wouldn't you?
Just because your brother and his mate are eating chicken and sitting down.
Well, yeah, all that time, Tom and Kieran are not even phased by what I'm doing. They're tucking in.
I'd be chucking my food at them.
Do you remember that used to be when you were still down here? That used to be a little routine we did after nights out. Go to KFC. We did it like 4 or 5 times after a night out. When they first
I always
opened
used to
up
go
in Wigmore.
Oh, Wigmore, yeah, that one was pretty good. I always remember that we said before there was that chicken shop near the Galaxy where you get like it was something like 4 chicken burgers for like £5 or something.
Yeah, man.
And you just get my go-to before I knew I couldn't have dairy was I'd get wrecked at Edge, and then I would go into the place next to it and I would order a medium pizza, a burger and chips, and a can of drink. And I'd go home and I would leave the pizza untouched because I'd have it in the morning when I'm hungover. It's like planning ahead when I'm pissed.
Fucking hell, that is thinking ahead, especially when you're drunk. I would like drunk Jamie does not have that much like foresight at all.
When I was really going, I'd get an egg on the burger and I'd sit with my eyes closed, just fucking eating this, and it'd be like a runny egg, and I'd be fucking covered. Yeah, I wake up in the morning and I'm like sticky, and there's like yellow fucking everywhere, and I'd still eat my pizza.
Oh mate,
back in the
day when you could bounce back. The next day,
fuck, I couldn't do that now.
Gone by midday.
Nah, I couldn't do that now. That weekend in Edinburgh was enough for me. Well, I wasn't even hungover. I was just sort of like, no, I want to go home to bed. I couldn't do it.
I'm too old for it, man. Too old. When I have like a crazy night out, it takes me a whole week to get over it now.
Yeah, fuck that.
Easy.
I was going to say, how was Joe after his tumble? I'm sure the listeners are wondering.
Oh, he's alright. As I said, like, we were being so pissed up, we were all a lot more dramatic than it needed to be.
Did you do what Brian said and be like...
in work next, his head just had like a slight little graze on it, and that was it.
Did you do what Brian said and be like, do you remember me saving your life the other day?
Yeah. What I should do is just, because I've got a lanyard now, innit, because I'm a first aider. I was walking around going like this at people, like showing them it. Fucking bright green, innit, yeah? And what I should do is just slip in my card and just be like, whenever you need help next time, innit?
Or just go up to him and like grab his head and be like, I got to check you haven't got an infection. And like just be like looking at his head in front of everyone. Knowing full well that he listens to this, so we're talking about what he used to do.
Oh, man. I won't even
terrible.
catch him because he's off work at the minute. He's he's doing jury service, innit? So I won't even see him.
I still haven't got that before. Have you ever done it?
No, I was saying that I would want to because I could do with a week off in it. Even if I'm like doing jury service, you don't have to deal with day-to-day fucking work. Do you know what I mean?
You have to just like sit with like a book, didn't you? Like wait.
Essentially, yeah. My dad did it, and like when my dad did it, they didn't call him up. So he literally just went and sat in the room, and then they didn't need him.
I'd be 100% asleep. You got me sitting in that room for like 10 minutes. I'm just like, my fucking head's back.
What I would hate, yeah, is if I get like a crackhead that stole some fucking meat from Tesco's or something, and that's my court case. And what I would want is like a full blown juicy murder, 6 months on jury service, innit? Off work. Let's go.
Do they pay you full pay?
They have to legally. So what we learned from that episode is Dan's always willing for Jamie to give him a bit of mouth to mouth. And
an hour and 10 minutes, and that's what you took.
Hey?
I said an hour and 10 minutes, and that's all you took from it.
Yeah, well, I'm here for buzzwords, Dan. I can't be doing too much. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of them shitty interviews back in the day where you have to fucking do the buzzword, otherwise they fail you on the interview.
Oh fucking hell, yeah.
But yeah, everyone that's wrote in the past, as I said earlier, it's a nice feeling to get some feedback on whether you've took our advice, ignored our advice, or just listened to the episode and thought, fuck that, and turned off. And of course, we've got quite a few episodes coming up over the next week, so if you could write into us at twomennnohope@gmail.com. Just remember, we've got a 2-week period where there won't be an episode coming with your questions in it. But after that, we'll do as many as we can, as quickly as we can, depending on what we get in.
Yeah, for sure. Down. And remember, Halloween next week, so if you've got a good Halloween story, a good ghost encounter, drop that in as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be appreciated. Right, so for this week's No Hope's Got Talent, we've got Ruination. I hope I've said that right. The link will be in the description anyway if I hadn't. So, but it says, hailing from Maryborough, Queensland, is a 3-piece alternative hard rock outfit featuring Luke Karolak. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. On guitar and vocals, Brady Weber on bass guitar, and Josh Brooks on drums. The trio entwine soft soundscapes with melodic rock edge at its core. Fucking hell, I swear my reading's getting worse while the weeks go on. Sometimes I get really good weeks and sometimes I get really bad ones. Drawing influences from a diverse range of acts including the Pixies, Blur, the Beatles and Metallica, Tool, Nirvana, Deftones, Radiohead and more, there is a distinct sound being crafted through the band's songwriting. Performing shows locally in interstate, they've shared the stage with the likes of Death by Carrot, which I've never heard of but I will be looking up now, Day of Content and more. The band were also selected to showcase at Yenda Battle of the Bands, which is pretty fucking sick. They're a really good sound. I got this email in the morning and then I was getting ready, rocking out to it. They're really good. They've sent us 2 songs, but I will be playing the song called Cruel. Like I said, their links, description, all that would be below. They're on Spotify and Facebook, Instagram, luck. But we hope you enjoy them. So this is Ruination with Cruel.